This is my presentation for what I think the future of education will look like. As we face a very uncertain future, the answer is not to do better than we've done before. We have to do something else. The challenge is not to fix the system, but to change it. Not to reform it, but to transform it. Sir Ken Robinson. As you can see from these images presented, technology will be the partner in helping transform education further. In the past, we saw classrooms that were teacher-centered, full of rote memorization, passive learning, very textbook-oriented, filled with wooden desks and rows, and fragmented curriculum. We've come a long way to student-centered classrooms that are research-driven, full of active learning, technology-based, have flexible seating, and integrated curriculum. The students of the modern era are no longer the people our educational system was designed to educate. And through technology, we can further improve the system.
We're just about caught up with that. The fourth industrial revolution is what becomes possible from those technologies.
Industry 4.0 is the next big shift in the way that manufacturing operates. Digital know-how is going to be hugely important, and then people will need to be flexible because the world will change.
The future workplace and future societies, we're still moulding them as we go, and technology is one of the main pillars in what is shaping what the future will look like.
The pace of change is remarkable, with the introduction of these exponential technologies creating a paradigm shift to create Education 4.0.
Lectures aren't fit for purpose anymore. Using textbooks and teaching in a Victorian sort of method with rows of students, listening to the teacher, taking notes, it's obsolete. We need to use our time in lessons to actually have those meaningful mentoring one-to-ones that can never be replaced. The technology gives us that time if we use it correctly.
Rather than being something that's scary, we can use technology to be something that's very liberating for people, so that instead of having to go through the rigmarole of institutional learning as it's been in the past, we can actually use smart robotics, smart computers to make learning more accessible to more people and to actually tailor it to individual needs.
This whole cluster of AI technologies will make learning for students more rewarding, teaching for academics more rewarding. We want it to be a win for everybody.
We've shown already in clinical studies and trials that retention is up to 70% higher in virtual reality. That has a huge impact on learning and retention of facts.
The challenge is for universities to really develop their students' digital skills so that they can actually make use of those skills in the workplace. It would be all too easy to say everyone must learn to code, but the truth is coding is just one digital skill.
Creativity, collaboration, communication, critical thinking, these skills that can never be automated, that can never be replaced, are what we need to focus on.
Education 4.0 is a request to the education sector to rethink the educational paradigm. And it's an opportunity for us as this fourth industrial revolution kicks off to think about what modern education should look like.
So let's think what modern education should look like. Disruptive technology. Innovations are altering the way that students learn. Equitable access to higher quality education is being better seen, and we're creating a more personalized education system. Predictions for the future of education over the next 20 years. We may see some of these earlier, but we do know it takes time for the educational system sometimes to catch up to the rest of society, and you may see these changes happening in parts of the world or districts faster than others. I see an increase in flipped classrooms, online learning, augmented and virtual reality, and personalized learning. First, let's consider flipped classroom. Currently, class time is traditionally spent on direct instruction, and then homework is for practice. This approach makes room for active learning in the environment, enables students to learn at their own pace, allows greater differentiation of instruction through films, games, readings, and short videos, provides times for students to apply knowledge through experience as in critical discourse. So instead of lecture and then homework activities, you see an increase in lectures first and then classroom activities where time is spent more extending students' learning and applying the skills, which gives more time to work on those 4 C's that we need for 21st century learners: critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. These are not skills that are going to be grown through instruction, but through hands-on learning. Proper implementation of the flipped classroom approach may be helpful in developing an independent and active learner, one involved in the 21st century knowledge-based society. Paired with the flipped classroom approach, I also see an increase in online learning. The coronavirus created a global experimentation with remote learning. This experiment sparked a lot of benefits for online learning. Students can learn at their own pace through multimedia presentations. Curriculum can be further customized. Technology can be delivered to a larger audience at a low cost. More resources can go to research-based teaching, personalized problem solving, networking, field-based projects, global learning, and mentorship. College education can become more affordable for everybody. I see online learning happening more frequently at the higher educational levels and more of the flipped classroom approach happening in elementary, middle, and high school, but I feel that both will trickle to both areas. Global statistics show that $200 billion was spent in 2019 on e-learning, and it'll increase to $375 billion by 2026. Mobile learning technology segments the market is anticipated to witness a high growth until 2027. Content providers in the e-learning market are anticipated to expand at a substantial growth up to 2027. It is a huge market expanding fast. Next, let's consider augmented and virtual reality. Augmented reality enhances the real world and is achieved by using visual elements, sound, or other sensory stimuli. Virtual reality is a realistic and immersive stimulation. A three-dimensional environment is created using interactive software and hardware controlled with body movements. We can already see VR and AR being used in classrooms today to go on virtual field trips, create language immersion, do skills training, build philosophical theories, help with architecture and design, in special education, for distance learning, to improve collaboration, to help game-based learning happen, and to create virtual campus tours. Lastly, let's consider personalized learning. It tailors instructions to students' unique strengths, engages students with challenging standards-based content, helps all children learn, addresses concerns of low-income and students of color achieving lower success rates after high school, creates flexible learning environments that incorporate multiple instructional approaches and technology, connects learning to the real world, and grows students' abilities to use critical knowledge skills, provides targeted practice, and connects curriculum to students' interests and aspirations. 79% of parents are concerned that the one-size-fits-all approach currently being used in schools is not preparing their students for the future. And 86% of teachers are concerned that the knowledge that they are giving students is not preparing them for the real world. They are okay with the fact that the learning of today might be differently compared to when they were in school. With personalized instructions, it enables a different pace for all students, accommodates different modalities of learning, allows all students to take their own path to learning, creates a better student voice and empowers students, and offers them greater choice in their learning. Students that have used personalized instruction have seen a 69% increased student engagement, 51% improved performance of staff and administration, 39% greater retention, 20% improved test scores, 22% higher grades, and 22% better attendance. This image I see being the classrooms of the future, where all students are learning in different ways through individualized instruction, through the use of technology, all discovering their own different passions and aspirations, and really doing individualized instruction. Thank you for listening to my 4 ways that I see education transforming in the future through flipped classroom, online learning, augmented and virtual reality, and personalized learning.